talking about Parashat Matot. And in the Gemara, there is a story about Rabbi Shimon ben Antipatris. He was a very wealthy man, and a lot of people used to come to his house. He used to give them food and give them sleep and let them to sleep in his house. He used to host a lot of people. But, however, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai heard. He had all kind of rumors coming to him that this Rabbi Shimon, he hits his guests. And he didn't understand, he didn't know if it's true. He wanted to check it out. So he sends his student, Rabbi Yehoshua ben Hananiah, that should go and check on him and see if it's true, these rumors that he hits his guests. What does it mean? Rabbi Yehoshua comes to him and he welcomes him very much with a lot of honors. He sets a table for him, they sit, they eat, they say Bakat Hamazon. Okay, he's waiting, will he eat him anything? No, nothing. He made prepared for him a bed, he went to rest, he went to sleep, everything was okay. In the morning he gets up and he tells his host that he needs to go to the bathhouse, Banya, they used to go, take a nice bath or shower or whatever. He goes, he prays, he does all comes back, and again the table is set for a nice, beautiful breakfast. They sit, they talk, they shmuz, Dvar Torah, this and that. He said to himself, will you hit me now? And he didn't. So after he spent some time by him and he saw everything is okay, he told this Rabbi Shimon, I need to go. So quickly Rabbi Shimon took his stuff and said, I would like to escort you. Another mitzvah, once you have a guest, it's nice to escort the guest. So he does another mitzvah and he's very pleased with him. So on his way, as they're walking, he looks at him, he gazes at him, stares at him, and Rabbi Shimon tells him, what does this look? Why are you looking at me this way? He says, I'll tell you the truth. The rabbis, they sent me to check on you. We heard that you hit your guest and we wanted to know if it's right, if it's true. He tells him, let me tell you something, Rabbi. You, Baruch Hashem, you're a Talmid Chacham. You know what you're doing, you know what you're saying. And you act, the way you're supposed to act. A lot of people, they don't behave nicely. They don't know how to behave. They come to me, and I am, as a host, I tell them, I order them to eat my food. There's a halacha, kol ma she'omer lecha ba'al habayit l'aseh. Whatever the host tells you to do, you have to do. Except, let's say, it's against the halacha, or it's against your medical circumstance, situation, whatever. So this is when you don't have to obey. But otherwise, I tell them to eat. They tell me, no, we took an oath or we took a promise not to eat. So we won't eat. I don't want to eat. I'm in a diet. Stop nonsense. And then after a while, as they see the table is set and everything, I see that they do eat. And I get upset. They just promised me before that they won't eat, and now they're eating. And it's not right. There is a punishment for that, usually malkot, it's lashes, if whipping the person, if anything. And so I want to do it easier on them. I hit them instead of the rabbis, giving them the punishment, because this is not right. I talk to them and I explain them this is not a right thing to do. Whatever you say, you have to keep your word. You cannot say something and do something else. The rabbi agreed with him, and he went back to the rabbis to report of his mission. This is, girls, what we're learning in Parashat Matot. Moshe gathers the head of the tribes and he tells them, if somebody makes a neder, takes an oath, swears, or promises, he needs to keep his words. If he doesn't keep his words, it's very severe, it's not good. Okay? Some people say, I swear to God, I didn't do this, I didn't see her, I whatever. Some, she, for example, swears that or promises that she's going to start a diet today, or exercise or whatever, and she doesn't. And somebody, he swore revenge on his killers, on his enemy, or people swear on all kind of stuff. And here we have to, here it says ba'avon nedarim, it says Masechet Shabbat ba'avon nedarim. When people do a promise and they don't keep the promise, lo aleinu, his little kids die if such a thing happens, and it's very, very dangerous. See, the Satan, is focusing all his effort to fail us on this type of a mitzvah. You say to yourself, what's the big deal? Nedarim, so what? No, he wants to fail the person in this type of sin that it doesn't look the end of the world. So what if I said something? What's the big deal? And we're talking here about all kind of swears that people swear, all kind of promises that they take. Anything that comes off your mouth, lies, or people curse, or people say the name of Hashem for no reason, for nothing, okay? Or basically preventing from these kind of things, because we have to guard, we have to observe and carry out all whatever we say, because this is very, very important. There was this father that lo aleinu lost his child, and he was sitting and thinking in the shiva for his son, why did I deserve it? Why did Hashem do it to me? And then he remembered when he was a young lad, a young bachur yeshiva that went to yeshiva. So they didn't have a yeshiva in their town. His parents sent him to another town and used to go with a taxi. So back and forth with a taxi, and one day it happened that he was sitting and he became impatient already, and he tells to the driver, no, come on, let's go. And the driver tells him, I cannot start the way, because we need all the city to be, people needs to come. Come on, let's go, it's late. And he keeps being very chutzpahdik to him. And the driver says, hey, why are you talking to me this way? He keeps answering him. He says, you know that I'm Av Shakul. Av Shakul in Hebrew is, I lost my child. He was, my son, he was a soldier in the Israeli army, and he died in a battle, he died in a war. You're making me angry, you're making me upset. I have enough grief in my life. Don't upset me even more. And he, from some reason, answers him, so what? I also Av Shakul, I also lost lo aleinu a child. He's a young lad. What is he talking about? He just said that. He didn't even think what he's saying. And then people started to come and they continued their way, and he forgot from this completely. Now, after some time, after years, he sits and thinks why it happened to him. He thought maybe I took something out of my mouth and somebody said amen in there, and it happened. I'll tell you even more than that. This is a story from the Gemara. A man had a gold coin. Those years, a gold coin was a very expensive thing, and he needed to go somewhere, and he didn't want to carry it with him because he was afraid, people will take it from him or steal it. So he went to this a woman, very honest woman. She was a widow, and he asked her if she could keep it for him. She says, no problem, sure, I could keep it for you. She took it and she put it in a jar. They didn't have safe in those days. They had a jar full of flour. Okay. And she forgot from this completely. It was a drought that year, and people were hungry. One day she decided that it was her last jar already. She needed to do some bread. She did the bread. Didn't realize there was a gold coin in there. And that same day, a poor man came to her and begged for some food because he's so hungry. She took the loaf of bread that she prepared, and she prepared some others too, but this, for unfortunate, this gold coin was inside, and she gave it to him. She didn't even know that it's in there. The guy thanked her very much and he left. Sometime later, the guy that owned the gold coin came and he asked from her, "Can I get back my coin?" And she starts to look for it, and she's looking for it and doesn't find it. And she tells him, I'm telling you, I don't know, I didn't do anything with this, I didn't take it to myself, believe me. And he's like, so where is the door? And they started talking, they started to argue, and they started to be loud and whatever. And she tells him, I swear to you that I didn't enjoy this. If God forbid, if I enjoyed it, if I used it, if I took it from you and I didn't tell you, God forbid, one of my kids, Hashem should kill it. Something like that, she said.
Oh my gosh, a human being
Crazy.
touched their kids.
And that's what happened. Yeah. Listen, Bukharians, they don't say, Kaparo Batusha, or Chetmora. They don't say these things.
All the time.
Do they mean it?
No.
So, why to say things that, you have to be there? So, when the rabbis heard this terrifying story, they said, if a woman that swear for something that was true, this thing happened, and she wasn't a bad woman, God forbid, she did a mitzvah, she helped a poor, needy person or whatever, she got this punishment. Imagine to yourself what happens to people who swear for nothing, who swear for false, for lies, for stuff. Imagine the punishment for these people. People come to shul, and they go to the Torah, and they want to donate money. He promises $180 for the shul, and if he doesn't pay, if he's a just one-time comer to that town and then he disappears, who's going to track after him? Who's going to look for him? Or if he comes regularly to that shul, he doesn't buy $100, $150, he buys, $18 even. But he doesn't pay. After a while, all these debts, it's also a problem. It's not good. People sometimes, they keep calling them, the secretary or the rabbi or whoever that shul, keep calling, send notes, send bills, send this, send this. And he does a favor, he sends one bill or something, but he still owes a lot of money, and then Rosh Hashanah comes, and he still owes money, and then they buy more stuff, and then it's not good. And rabbis are asking, okay, even if, God forbid, somebody eats pork, God forbid, a pig, something, he doesn't get this severe punishment. Why little kids need to die when people say doesn't do a neder and don't fulfill it? And they explain it with this kind of mashal. They say there was this guy, a man that was looking for a job, and he wanted to be a policeman, but they didn't need a policeman at that time. They offered him to be a guard in a prison. Fine, he took that job. He was a guard in a prison. He sees the prisoners, and he sees how not easy it is, how not comfortable it is for them to stay there. Some prisoners, they sit in the very small cells. Some don't get enough food and drink, and they're very limited, cannot do this, cannot do that. Though being there for some time, a new prisoner came. And this prisoner, he got a very comfortable room. They served him meal 3 times a day. He got some magazines, some newspapers, a book, this, that, very comfortable. He didn't understand. So he asked, what's the difference between this prisoner and all the others? And they explained that all the other prisoners, they're criminals. some are murderers, some are stealers, thieves, some did all kind of mischiefs, whatever. But this one, he's just unfortunate guy. He was a business dealer. He used to have a lot of business, but he lost money on a certain deal and started owing money to people. And now he cannot pay his debt. So he didn't really do anything bad. Just that didn't have luck. So he's there in that prison, waiting for a judge to say that he had bankruptcy. If he did these files for bankruptcy, and they declare chapter 11. Chapter 11 means, okay, if you show that you don't have the money, you don't have to pay. He liked that idea. He said, I'll do the same. He quit his job and went to the most fanciest hotel with all his family. Go there, he took the best room over there and spends time and enjoys there and eats their fancy meals and eats in that luxurious room and enjoy all the services and everything. And a month passed like that, and they give him the bill. He says, I cannot pay. What do you mean you cannot pay? So why are you here? I cannot pay. Whoa, are you going to kill me? Even that person in the prison, they say that he cannot pay, so they didn't kill him for that. The hotel took him to court. He wasn't scared. He went to the judge and he tells him, I'm sorry, I cannot pay. He says, so why did you take this? Did you know that you won't be able to pay? He said, yeah, I knew that I won't be able to pay. But so what? Well, that's what happened to the other guy also. He says, what is there to compare? He really started, we checked on him, he was an honest businessman. And it happens that people lose money and then they get it back, and this is how life it is. But for that particular time, he didn't have the money. So what? It doesn't mean that he did it purposely, but you knew that you don't have the money, and you went and you deceived this hotel, and you spent time and you took and you enjoyed it, and you don't want to pay. He punished him a very severe punishment. This is the nimshal, they say. They say a person, we got so many laws. It happens that people fail in this mitzvah, that people fail in that mitzvah, they didn't do it right. There is an evil inclination in the world. And if somebody did a wrong, a mistake or something, he regrets, he does tshuva, he comes to Hashem and he asks for forgiveness. And Hashem, with his mercy, he forgives the people and they continue on. But who asked you to do something that you were not asked? In the Torah, we have enough mitzvot, and you restrict yourself even more. You say to yourself, I promise, I'll give $1 million to donation. If you have the money, fine. But if you don't have the money, why do you give such amount? It's not good. There was this rabbi, I read it, I don't remember where, that he promised a woman didn't have children, and she came to him for a blessing, and he blessed her. He blessed her, she got pregnant. She got so happy that she had an old antique joma in her house. She gave it to him as a present. He took it. One day he wanted to wear it. He puts it on. He sees that it all deteriorated in front of him. It was an old material. Some bugs or some, I don't know, whatever, ate it up, all this material. And he got so upset. I guess he said something. And at that moment, they say that this woman, Lo Alenu, she lost her child.
Wow.
So she comes back to the rabbi, crying. The rabbi said, why did you give me a gift that I didn't ask you? I didn't ask you this. If you give something good. If you don't, so don't give this something. So he was upset at that moment. He didn't want God forbid to harm her or anything. But then she said, I'm sorry, I didn't know that there was a problem in there. He blessed her again. But she was able to get pregnant again. But that's the idea. Don't promise things that you cannot take, that you cannot fulfill them afterwards. And so sometimes people take upon themselves, she did some kind of a medical test or something, and she needs to get results. And she says to herself, if I'm going to get good results, I'm going to give, I don't know, a big sum there, or I'll sponsor this and that. And then you forget about this. You got the good results, you forget it, and you continue on. That's not good. That's a problem. This is another that you took upon yourself, and you didn't fulfill it, and it's very bad. This is something very interesting. When God created the world, and this is I want to understand, whenever we speak, we have so much power in our speech. We don't even realize. When God created the world, it says, Vayomer Elokim, Vayomer Elokim, Vayomer Elokim. Hashem spoke, and it happened. Hashem gave such an energy, right? And when He created the human being, it says, Vayipach be'apar nishmat chaim. Hashem gave us the neshama, the holy neshama. And Onkelos explains, what is the neshama that He gave us? Ruach memalela. Ruach memalela means the power to talk, the power to speak, a speech. So this is a very strong power. And other animals, they don't have this power. When we say there's objects in the world that they don't move, there are plants that grow, it's advanced a little bit. There's animals that can run, they can do, they produce, whatever. And then there is the medaber, not even the human being, the medaber, the one that talks. Then they say there's another level of the Judaism, where it's much higher. But medaber, when people talk, I remember once I saw this book of Rav Zamir Cohen that shows there that when you speak to certain items, let's say it's a glass of water, you speak to it good words, and then they freeze it, it comes such a beautiful picture in this water, drop of water. If you say some bad thing to this plant that is sprouting or something, if you say something bad, it goes negative. It doesn't want to grow. It so much depends how we talk and what we say. So one of the rabbis here say that we have such a strong treasure in ourselves, the power of talking, and it just depends how we do it. Therefore, we have to put so much restrictions and fences and gates to what we say, because whatever we say could be backfire, God forbid, to us. Some people say, so what did I say? What was the big deal? Some people say, I promised, but I didn't promise to fulfill what I already. Right? So the mouth of the person is like a remote control. You're able to sit in your house and open the door of your car, right? So when you speak also, we don't realize, but it does so much in heaven, so much in upper worlds. It's unbelievable what it does. I want to tell you something strong, but it's true. In the book Alenu Shabeach, there is a true story about Mrs. Frida Mendelssohn, Hashem Yikom Dama. Mrs. Mendelssohn was murdered in a terror attack in the Sabaro restaurant in Jerusalem. And that same day that it happened, her son heard all kind of things that she said. He didn't understand why she says these things. And it's interesting. This woman, she was in charge of, she was a very active woman. She wasn't young, she wasn't old, but she wasn't so young, and she was in charge. She was organizing classes for women, especially in Shmirat HaLashon, and they used to, sometimes their kids wanted to invite her to a restaurant. She would never in her life go to a restaurant. She never liked to eat outside, to dine outside, always at home. She didn't like to go outside. And that particular day happened. She had to go to do some tests on her, and this test she had to do while she's fasting, so she couldn't really eat anything before. And she was rushing out or what, and she didn't take her food with her. Usually, to break that fast, she needs to eat something, she needs to drink something, and always she used to take stuff from home, food, sandwich, something. This time she didn't take. So she went, and to break her fast after the test, she got into this bar. Never in her life she did something like that. She got into that restaurant, and lo aleinu, died there on the spot. So her son says that same day his mother tells him something like, "I'm not an old woman, but I see already the end." Something like that. Or she tells him something like, I heard, I read in the books that there's something that's called chibut hakever. Chibut hakever is when somebody dies, so after everybody leaves the funeral, they go to their house, the angels are coming, to take this person for judgment. And they hit the grave, and they are able to hit the person. They ask his name, and if he knows his name, usually it's not the name. For this we have, we have a sgula. Every time we finish Shemona Esrei, when you say Yilu Artzoni B'Fi, you start a pasuk, a verse, with your beginning with the letter of your name, and you end with the letter of, let's say my name is Batia. I start a pasuk that starts with Bet and ends with Hey. Okay? When you keep saying this pasuk every day, all the time in Shemona Esrei, so this is a sgula that after 120,
you won't forget.
you remember the pasuk that belongs to your name, and this is how they cannot touch you. So this lady tells her son, I don't know if I have the koach, if I have the strength to go through these tortures that these angels, they're doing. I don't want to go through this. I want to go straight to heaven, to be next to Hashem, not to go through all these angels.
Wow.
And see what happened? When somebody dies on Kiddush Hashem is when Arabs or any other bad people, they take a life of a person just because he's a Jew, okay? It's called Lamut al Kiddush Hashem.
Mm-hmm.
So these people, they go straight to heaven. There's no even, People sometimes say things and they don't even know, they don't even understand why they say it and what they say, and it's amazing to see how power have these words. So, Chazal, okay, so I want to tell you something interesting about talking now. One of the problems of talking is lashon hara, when we speak bad, okay? So,
I just heard it today. What's worse, eating a cheeseburger or saying lashon hara?
What was the answer?
I was telling my kids, and we were debating what's worse, eating cheeseburger or saying lashon hara.
It's like 17 love.
Shlomo Melech says in Kohelet, he says something like that. כי גם לא ידע האדם את איתו כדגים שנאחזים במצודה רעה. A person doesn't know his time, like fish that are caught, that are stuck in a bad trap, מצודה רעה. חז"ל במדרש, in קהלת רבה, they asking, אמר רבי ברכיה, is there any מצודה רעה ומצודה טובה? Meaning, there's a good trap or there's a bad trap? Trap is a trap, doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. So, so the rabbi says there's two different types of traps. There is something that's called chaka. Chaka means a fishing rod, okay? And there is something that's called a net. So in a net, when the fisherman he throws a net into the sea, a lot of fish are getting caught in there. They don't really realize they feel alive, okay? But they're trapped. They're in a net, okay? And there's a fishing rod. A fishing rod is this piece of thread that the fisherman throws into the water. And in the end, there's this hook, and he puts a bait in there, like a bread or something. And the fish, he wants to eat that bait. He comes with his mouth to catch that food, and the fishing rod catches him. So all his body is released. No problem, he's in the water. But his mouth is caught. And when the mouth is caught, he's caught. So the rabbis say, one of the rabbis here says something interesting. He says there's two different types of yetzer hara, evil inclination. There is a yetzer hara that catches the whole person, meaning he makes him not to keep the mitzvot anymore. No Shabbat, no kosher, no keeping kosher, no mezuzah, no tzniut, no nothing. He doesn't keep anything. He doesn't believe in Hashem. He violates all the laws. Okay? This is when the Yetzer Hara is able to capture him altogether. There is Yetzer Hara that tells to the person, you want to keep mitzvot? Keep the mitzvot. You want to learn Torah, do chesed, do this mitzvah, no problem, do whatever you want. But your mouth is mine.
Money?
Your mouth.
Mine.
Your mouth is mine. And with his mouth, he could do the worst averot with his mouth when he speaks lashon hara and everything. This is called metzuda ra'ah. When the mouth is caught by the Yetzer Hara, this is called metzuda ra'ah. It's a bad chap. It's not a good one, because the fish is all in the water. He thinks he's alive. He doesn't know that he's caught. The person thinks he's the most righteous person. He doesn't know that he's caught by the Yetzer Hara, all the way. And this metzuda ra'ah, this bad trap, is the thing that destroyed our temple and exiled us for thousands of years in this bad exile. Jews were persecuted all these years, were murdered, were it wasn't easy all this time, and all because we had hatred, se'at chinam, we had lashon hara, talking bad about people, and the all other sins of the mouth. Why do I say that this is a metzuda ra'ah? Think about this. Let's say Reuven comes to Shimon and he tells him, Shimon, we have 5 minutes, free. Let's talk lashon hara. Would Shimon talk lashon hara? No way. He doesn't want to talk lashon hara. He says, "Come on, I don't want to do such a thing. It's not. What are you talking about?" He tells him, "No, not just to talk lashon hara." Tells him Reuven, there is this guy in America that has this fund that if we're going to speak lashon hara for every 2 minutes, he gives us $500. He says, "No, I'm not selling my olam haba for $500. What are you talking about? I would not like to talk even if I get double the amount. So 5,000, so 50,000. No, Shimon would not like to talk. Doesn't matter what, because But then what happens? Shimon meets another person, and they start schmoozing and talking and talking. And by the way, and this is the evil inclination way to do, by the way, they discuss all kind of people. They start to talk about all kind of issues, and they don't realize how they start talking lashon hara. Did he get any reward? Did he get any money for talking? No, he does it for free now. He doesn't even realize. This is called metzuda ra'ah. This is how the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, catches us in our mouth, and we don't even realize that. So of course no one is going to start talking lashon hara with all the calling Hebrew l'shem yichud, I want to really do it with all my heart, and so by the way, that's what happens. The Gemara in Masech HaKetubot talks about Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi, when it was time for him to go, to heaven, so he was such a righteous man that the Satan came towards him, to tell him. No, he didn't frighten him, just came to tell him that it's time to go to heaven. So Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi tells him, "Can I see the place in Gan Eden that I'll be there?" He said, "Okay." So they walk together to that place. And on the way, as they walk, so the Satan is walking with this huge big knife. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi tells him, "I'm scared of this knife. Can you give it to me? I'll hold it." He tells him, "Okay." He gives him the knife. And as they come to Gan Eden, he shows him this place. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi tricked him, and he jumped to his place, to Gan Eden, so the Satan wasn't able to kill him. As he got there, he told him, "I swear, that I'm not leaving this place. I'm staying here. You won't be able to kill me. The Satan didn't know what to do. He goes to Hashem, says, what should I do? Hashem tells him, let's check out. If during his lifetime, Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi swore once in his lifetime, and he did Atarat Nedarim. Atarat Nedarim is when we go to synagogue before Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
So, if he did Atarat Nedarim, so we're going to do Atarat Nedarim now, and we're going to send him back to you. But if he never did Atarat Nedarim, so his promise will stay promise. His swear is good, is strong. We cannot do anything about this. They checked him and they saw that he never did any Atarat Nedarim in his life, and he went live to Gaden, and Satan was able to kill him.
Wow. He went alive, you said?
Alive, he wasn't able to kill him.
He didn't die?
Huh?
Yeah.
So, that's what it says.
Does he have a mitzvah?
And so, and something similar to this happened too, not similar, but something in that idea happened in the time of Hasaba Mishpoli. Hasaba Mishpoli was a great rabbi, right after Abba Shem Tov. He had a chassid, he had a follower, somebody that would come to the rabbi very often. He was a very, very wealthy man. He was a very big merchant, had a lot of money, had everything, didn't have children. He comes to the rabbi all the time to have a blessing for children, and the rabbi, for all kinds of reasons, doesn't want to bless him. He sends him away, he denies him, he delays him, he tells him, come tomorrow, come next week, come next year. He just doesn't bless him. And one day he tells himself, I'm going to stay by the rabbi until he promises me. If he doesn't promise me, I don't leave him. So he came to him that day. And that day, this rabbi, he was dealing with a very, 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 very important thing. There was kind of a decree on the whole community. And he was trying to focus and to, pray for the community, and this guy is coming with his private personal request, and he bothers him. He tells him, not now, just get away next time. And he says, no, I'm not going to leave you. Today you're going to promise me that I'm going to have a child. And he tells him, not now, please, I can't, just leave. And he keeps bothering him and bothering him and bothering him. And then, when the rabbi saw that he won't leave him, I guess he said something bad. The rabbi said, I promise you, I swear that you're never going to have children. Oh. When this man heard such a thing, he didn't know what to do with himself. He ran away from that rabbi. He went home and he was crying and crying and crying and crying. And what should he do now? Now he got a promise that he will never have children. Sometime later, he had to go to the town that's called Koritz to do some business there. And he heard that the rabbi of this town, Rabbi Pinchas ben Koritz, was a very, very righteous man on his own. He used to do miracles to people, he used to be very close to Hashem, very humble person. And he heard from the people in town that financially, he's not very good financially. He's a poor man. So, days of Pesach were approaching. He comes to the Rabbanit and he tells her, can I please come to your house on Leila Seder? She says, gladly, but I don't have anything to offer you, I'm sorry, I can't. He says, I'll buy for you everything. I mean, if you want, you can order, you can buy, whatever. And he gave her such a big amount. He told her, not only food, buy furniture. I look at your table. Buy chairs, buy nice dishes, buy clothing, whatever you need for the holidays. Just buy. I have a lot of money. Don't worry. She was so thankful, and she started to buy and to order and to buy and this and that. And her husband, Rabbi Pinchas, during this time realizes that she doesn't bother him about money. Never tells him what about Pesach, what's going to happen. You don't help me. So he kept quiet. She didn't complain. He didn't say anything. But Leil Pesach, when it came, he comes to the house. The house is lit. A lot of candles, a lot of light. New dishes, new this. He was shocked, amazed. From where all this? He told her, it's the guest that is going to come tonight to our house. So, okay, he greets him in the evening, and they start, it's a long process, Lela Seder Kadesh, Uchatz, Karpas, Yachatz, Magid. When they come to Rochza, to wash hands, so he comes to him and tells him, can I help you with something? Do you need anything? Do you lack anything? Like, why did you come here? You're so rich, you're so this. And the guy burst in crying and told the rabbi what happened with the Saba Mishpoli. They call him the Zaydi from Mishpoli. The rabbi was thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, and told the man, if I have any merit in heaven, he tells him, I swear that you're going to have a child this year. Now this man, this Rabbi Pinchas Mikos, never swore in his life. He did this just to help this guy. The man got so happy. He was so, and that's exactly what happened. His wife got pregnant after I don't know how many years. And Rabbi Israel Miruzhin was the first Admor Miruzhin. When he told this story to his students, he said, whenever Rabbi Pinchas Mikolitz swore in heaven, there was such a big shake and such a big wave of noise. And what should we do now? Who should we listen to? Saba Mishpoli is a very great rabbi, and Rabbi Pinchas Mikolitz, what should we do? I said, let's check out. If Rabbi Pinchas Mikolitz ever swore in his life, okay, we'll check it. He never swore in his life. And so they granted this man's wish, and they see how much power we have in our mouth. Of course, this is the tzaddik, right? But still, see how much power we have in our mouth when we carry out what we say to the good, of course, right? People have, of course, a lot of power to the bad also. We're talking here about the good. So this is our pasuk in our parasha. It says, if somebody lo yachel davar, if somebody gives a neder, he shouldn't violate whatever he said. He should fulfill it. V'hayotze mipiv yaseh, whatever he takes out of his mouth in heaven, they will fulfill it for him, because this is how he's so righteous. So whenever somebody wants to promise something, say at least bli neder. Don't promise things that you won't be able to do. There's this famous joke that everyone says. There was this guy that was looking for a parking spot. Okay? He's circling and circling, goes around, makes another round, doesn't find parking. He turns to Hashem, tells him, Hashem, if I'm going to find parking in the next 2 minutes, I promise I'll donate, I don't know, $1,000 to the shul. So in 2 minutes, a car leaves the parking spot, and he was able to park in there. Turns to Hashem, says, Hashem, I managed by myself.
Wow. I'm going to keep Shabbat. I'm going to keep Shabbat, I promise.
So what happens here? Human being has a tendency, okay, whenever there's a distress, whenever there's a problem, he goes through some kind of a problem, to promise certain things that he's going to do. But once this feeling of distress leaves him, he's not in danger anymore, he's not in a problem anymore, it's not urgent anymore. People don't fulfill anymore. They don't feel it's so important, to pay this charity that he ordered, the donation that he said that he will do, or any of these promises and nedarim and everything. So, and this is why this parasha is coming. Parashat Matot usually is always during these 3 weeks that we mourn for the destruction of the temple. And why it belongs to this time? When Nebuchadnezzar, which was the Babylonian king, he destroyed our temple, our first temple, right? Killed a lot of people. He was a very cruel king. He put Tzidkiyahu as the king in Israel, and Tzidkiyahu was supposed to report him everything. Tzidkiyahu was supposed to give him taxes. It was supposed to be very, very loyal to him. It says also that Tzidkiyahu was like a family member in his house. He used to come in and out. You don't have to, they don't have to call his name before he comes or make a special appointment. He would be, like a family member in his house. So because he came in and out whenever he wanted, once he got into this Nebuchadnezzar's house, and he saw how Nebuchadnezzar was a cruel man. He took a rabbit, and he ate it alive. Who eats such a thing? Who does such a thing? Even Gentiles are supposed to keep Sheva mitzvot ben Noach. One of the mitzvot is not to eat animals when they're alive. Tzidkiyahu saw that and he got very disgusted. And when Nebuchadnezzar saw that Tzidkiyahu saw it, he felt embarrassed. And he made him swear that he's not going to tell this to anyone what he saw. He promised. He swore. And then, sometime later, Nebuchadnezzar hurt Tzidkiyahu in some ways, and Tzidkiyahu wanted to avenge. So he went to the rabbis. He made Hatarat Nedarim, okay, to cancel his vow, and he went to tell everyone. He went to tell everyone what he saw by Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar heard that, and he wanted to find the nice way how to approach it, how to confront it. He calls the Sanhedrin, all the biggest rabbis, to his palace. He puts them on golden chairs, beautiful chairs. He gives them a lot of respect, and he starts kind of a conversation with them. So tell me about the Torah. Tell me about something. He wanted to ask them all kinds of questions about Jewish law, about all kinds of issues. And then they come to Parashat Nedarim, that's written in Parashat Matot. Okay? He tells the rabbis, if somebody wants to repent, to take back a vow that he took, okay, he swore something and he wants to cancel it, is he able to do it? The rabbi said, yes, if you go to 3 rabbis and you explain them what happened, and they try to, to ask, maybe you didn't understand exactly what you say, maybe this, maybe that, and they're able to cancel it. So they said, so now I understand. So you were the ones that gave Hatarat Nedarim to Tzidkiyahu for a thing that he saw in my house. And he was so upset at them that he ordered his servants to knock them down from their chairs, and they fell. And then he tortured them basically. He took them, he dragged them on his horses, whatever he did, he tortured them. And this is written in Megillat Echa. During these 3 weeks, okay, we read 3 haftarot. One haftarah is, Rabbi Yonatan Ebeshitz says, it's for the 3 main sins that we do. We do a sin with our mouth, we do a sin with our ear, we hear Lashon Hara, and we do a sin with our eyes, whatever we see. Okay? And this is the haftarot that we do. First, Yirmiyahu, means we have to fix all the talkings that we do. Then, Shimud Dvar Hashem, to fix the hearing. And then, Chazon Yeshayahu is to look only at good things. Hello, girls. The whole year, we send our children to yeshiva. We pay top money, okay, very big sum of tuition to the yeshiva, so the girls will have, Torah studies. They will be nourished in the right way, and they will get the Torah view of life and everything. And then what happens? Comes this summer vacation, and in a few weeks, we kind of cancel all whatever they learned the whole year. They go, they see, I don't know, maybe bad movies, or all kind of bad sites out there. Even if you go to the gym and they see all kind of women there, they see all kind of sites out there. You go to the beach, you go to there, it's new. No, few weeks, you say to yourself, what's the big deal? It's only a few weeks. But it can there was this guy that had a problem with his kidneys. He had a kidney disease, and quickly they rushed him to the hospital, and they, after giving him a very strong diet, they stabilized him, and after a while they sent him home. He was fine, but they warned him, You're not allowed to eat food with salt. Salt is not good for you, and and you cannot have protein and whatever they told him. He said he didn't understand the severity of this diet. So what's the big deal with some salt? So what if I have some chips, or potato chips with some salt? And he wasn't strict about that. And a few weeks later, they rushed him again to the hospital. Now he was in a critical condition already. His lungs, his kidneys stopped functioning, and now he needed a kidney transplant. It wasn't easy anymore. He just heard about this, he got a heart attack. Wow. What do I say? If we keep, what we learned in the yeshiva, we keep it with our children, this education, so it's good. But if you lose yourself here and there, this is what this Parashat Matot is teaching us. So, Bezrat Hashem, Mashiach soon, Bezrat Hashem. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.